Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Paul Master. What we gotta watch, what we gotta watch. Yeah, buddy, that's right. Get exposure right now. Holler at the homie Paul Mash, man, for Paul Mash TV. Hit up Paul Mash TV across all social media sites, alright? Who we got next? Got next.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again, and we're glad that you could join us for another episode. And we'll get to that interview in just a moment, which is a good one. But want to thank you again for all your feedback and so on. And if you'd like to be one of those to join them, you can do that several ways. You can do that through Facebook, facebook.com/Paul Mash TV. And feel free to inbox us there, like the page, and respond to the videos in question. We'd love to hear from you. You can also email us at paulmashtv, all one word, at gmail.com. And you can use that not just for fan information, but if you're a band or a solo artist looking for exposure, just use that same email address and we'll talk to you about that. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll get all the latest interviews whenever they become available when you watch this on YouTube. And also feel free to respond to the interview in question on YouTube there. We'll be happy to get your comments there. And if you missed any of that, don't worry about it. We have a closing credit screen at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that, and all that will be recapped for you. Right now, we have from Miami Beach, Florida, Kim Cameron, a very talented lady. And I think you're going to agree with that. But before we do, let's get into another quick word from ClickJam. Don't go away.
ClickJam, all around the world.
One thing I can't do is disappoint my fans. All the people around the world come and join the band. I said I'm happy as I ever been. When all the music comes together and it starts to blend.
All around the world.
All over the globe.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's interview time again. And with us from Miami Beach, we have Kim Cameron. Thanks for joining us, Kim.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad you could make it here today. The question that I like to ask everybody, obviously, is everyone has their own story. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you started in the music business?
Well, I started because, I started as a cover band, really, but I guess we all started as cover bands, and we were a really, really bad cover band, and I say that with pure honesty. We were absolutely horrible, but we had this huge fan base because people love covers, and it doesn't matter kind of how they sound, as long as you're drinking a lot, everybody sounds pretty good singing a cover song. But there was a moment in time about 10 years ago, I guess it's been, that I had a family member who, ended up dying, but at the time we were kind of holding out for him. Really bad bout of cancer, and it inspired me to write my first song. And I was so inspired by writing original music that it took me down this path. So I've been doing this original project for 10 years. Yeah, and I guess this year will be my 11th year, now if I think about it. And really much, I'm pretty much focused in the dance world, although I write all sorts of things and tour all over the globe. But dance music's probably where my passion is.
Okay, well, that is a good story there. And as you mentioned earlier about the cover bands, yeah, I've heard a lot of them. Like I said, a lot of them are pretty good, though. So, but
we weren't one of them.
okay.
We were not one of them.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you about your influences. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of bands that influence you in your music. Maybe you can talk about some of them.
Absolutely. I've been influenced kind of all over the place, and it's been interesting. I've lived in a variety of locations, including, you know, DC and LA, and now here in Miami Beach. So obviously now I'm getting much more influenced by the Latin culture and the Latin sounds and Latin percussion, which is really interesting to me. But when I was in sort of the Northeast area and the West Coast, it's very much different. You have, you know, kind of that beach boy mentality. And so it does become a melting pot, but I would say if you look purely at the dance side of things, you know, these days, BTS, the original BT, when he was kind of up and coming, was a big influencer in my dance music. But when it came to lyrical writing, I would look at like a James Taylor and say, wow, he really knew how to tell stories, right? He was just, you could see every single thing he was talking about and singing about. And I look at those kind of artists. I look at, you know, the soulfulness of a Bonnie Raitt. Again, I'm like mixing up all these genres at once, but they all have an influence on me, with whether I know it or don't know it. It's you can't help but be influenced by all these artists who've kind of paved the way for others to create their own sound. So I would say I'm definitely on the house, deep house side of dance electronic music. But, you know, my vocals definitely have that sort of California girl beach feel to it at times. And, you know, I'm known for writing love stories.
Okay, yeah, those are pretty good ones, especially James Taylor, as you mentioned. Yeah, that's hadn't heard about him in quite a while, but yeah, he is a pretty good singer. Well, why don't we talk about your music now? I mean, how do we get your music? I mean, can you get it in digital format? Can you get physical copies? Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Well, I kind of gave up physical copies just because when you're touring, I found it was so challenging to bring CDs. And most people, you know, they want to carry their music on their phone, or they want to carry it on whatever device they have. So I'm pretty much an all digital girl now. And they can get it through all the usual suspects, you know, Beatport and Amazon and iTunes. And probably the easiest way is just to go to my website, and I have, you know, the icons and the links that allow people to get to the right places, which is sideeffectsmusic.com. And that will take people where they want to go. But I think my song catalog is kind of up to about 300 now. So they'll have a lot to choose from the very beginning, which was much more kind of soft rockish, kind of adult contemporary. And if they actually traversed all the way through my catalog, they'd see how I become more and more and more into full-fledged dance music.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's good to know. So I guess you can get it like on iTunes and Amazon, stuff like that.
All of those places, yes.
Okay. All right. And speaking of your music, we're getting ready to play a music video from you in just a couple of minutes here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, and if there's a story behind it and so forth?
Yeah, it's another classic love song. My producer and I came up with this song, and it's not my story. It's actually, I'm telling the story of a friend who told me about a relationship he had about two people who were completely opposite, found that it was their opposition which brought them together. And before he knew it, he had fallen in love. So it's called Didn't Know I Was Falling in Love. And it's, we decided to do the music video when we were on tour just this past month. I guess it's only been a month. And we were in Malta performing, and I said, this would be great. We've never been here before, new landscape. It's kind of different than doing something in the States. So as we kind of traversed the island, we shot the music video. And I found myself not only falling in love more and more with the song, but falling in love with the country of Malta, which is really what the music video is about, is this real love affair with the country.
Oh, okay. And of course, I've heard the song. I think it's pretty good. I think everybody out there will love that too in just a moment here. But before we get to that, I just want to thank you for coming by. That's about all I can think of for now, Kim, and we appreciate you coming on. We'd love to have you back sometime if you ever got anything new to plug for us.
Would love it. I would love it. Thank you so much.
Okay, and here's Didn't Know I Was Falling in Love right here from Kim Cameron right here on Paul Mash TV. Don't go away.
Speaking in different colors. You're red and green. What could that mean? What could that mean?
I remember one of the first times. He was dark and Greek.
It wasn't what I planned. I didn't have to look far. Just turned around and there you are. There you are.
We didn't even speak the same language.
I didn't know I was falling in love. I didn't know I was falling in love. I didn't know I was falling in love. In love. I didn't know.
I've always avoided falling in love because I was afraid of somebody making me want to change.
Handing me a heart, telling me it's just a start. Nothing can tear it apart. If I hold it, if I hold it, if I hold it, if I hold it, if I hold it. You're not like any other boy. I didn't know I was falling in love. I didn't know I was falling in love. I didn't know I was falling in love. In love. I didn't know I was falling in love. I didn't know I was falling in love. I didn't know I was falling in love. In love. I didn't know.
We had a connection.
You're not like any other boy. You're not like any other boy. You're not like any other boy. You're not like any other boy.
The fandom asked Christine one time, there are two things that last forever in life, love and music. Which will you choose? I chose music.